Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at This Week at Bungie for February 27, 2020. This will be the last TWAB of February. Fun fact, it is a leap year. My brain went, don't include that, cut that. Future Dychronic will absolutely include that, so fuck you ahead of time, but damn it, my voice cracked. Fun fact, it is a leap year right now. So February will be going to the 29th. Doesn't happen every year, so I just thought I'd mention it. Oh man, that was such a legit voice crack. I don't even have an excuse. But anyways, This Week at Bungie, if you don't know, the TWAB is basically a news post about Destiny 2, the past week, current week, and the next 2 weeks of Destiny 2. There's going to be a bunch of stuff in this TWAB to actually take a look at, as well as a director's cut with a lot of text that I'll be summarizing very succinctly. So let's go ahead and get to, wait, hold on. Cute fluffy animals, obviously, the beginnings of many of my videos. If you did not know, I like to do this at the beginning of a lot of my videos just because they're cute and fluffy and I like looking up cute animals, and so does the writer of this, Cosmo. He always has an Easter egg somewhere near the bottom of like a cat picture somewhere. We'll see if we can find it. And of course, the very last thing I'll say before we get started, I have a giveaway going on right now. If you want to get yourself an Astro 840 headset, Blue microphone product, or Control Freaks gift code, $20 gift code to their store, make sure you check that out. Link in the description down below. Hopefully I remember. It will be ending at the end of February, so you have the last opportunity to do that. And of course, thank you to those sponsors. They're going to be also offering you guys 5% off of anything from Astro and 10% off of anything from Control Freaks, which are part of the links in the description down below. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it with This Week at Bungie. There's a bunch of new stuff. If you did not hear, we finished the Empyrean Foundation as a community, reached 7 out of 7, and as we guessed it, the Trials of Osiris is going to be returning next season. You can see this trailer video. It's about 3 minutes long if you want to watch it. It basically sums up, hey, we want Trials and we're bringing Trials back, and that's basically what it says. I am curious to see what are the changes, because they took it away because they didn't like it how it was. So it's going to be interesting to see if they've made significant changes. And as I said before, there's going to be a director's cut we're going to be taking a look at now, where Luke Smith, the head developer over at Destiny 2, is going to be talking about the future of Destiny 2 as a whole. Now, as always, Luke Smith loves to write absolute essays when it comes to this, and honestly, he should. He's a game developer, he's a lead game developer, and he wants to talk about the future of Destiny 2. For the most part, I would say most of this article is a lot of fluff, talking about what happened in the past of Destiny 2, how they want to actually be fixing this without giving us specific information, what they liked, what they didn't like, what we didn't like, stuff like that as we go along. And like I said, there's a very, very long time. He used the word aspiration many times of what they're hoping to achieve in the next iteration of Destiny 2, how it evolves in the future of what they aspire to. I would say for the most part there's not a lot of information that many people may be interested in, but I'm going to try to pick out the stuff that I thought was really interesting. So first and foremost, this section, Seasons of Change. Basically, they're going to be taking a look at seasons. There's this big idea of fear of missing out, the fact that all of the weapons and activities from one season will go away as soon as the next season starts. You know, like the Vex Offensive and all of the Vex weapons are no longer able to be done. No longer can you get the seals. No longer can you get all those triumphs, because that's season is over, and people have this fear of missing out, and in the end may not actually want to play at all, and that just feels bad. What they want to do instead is extend those activities until the next major expansion. So for example, Forsaken and Shadowkeep are major expansions, so they want to include all of these activities until next September, basically. Now, I don't know if they're going to be making that retroactive for the previous seasons, but that is the idea behind what they want to do with it. May I also just mention, Luke, I also don't have an Anarchy. With 60 completions in that damn raid and having watched probably 60 different people get the Anarchy in front of me, I feel you. I really do. And they also mention a couple other things, including the new activities having better weapons, new stuff that you want to chase, but poor amounts of experience or certain resources. And the old activities have really good experience, but also things that you don't really care about. They want to try to balance that in the future. And then finally, they also mention that they want to have more quests for specific activities, make you actually want to play strikes make you specifically have to do that to get certain weapons, kind of like we had with the Crucible IS Luna in Destiny 1. Personally, I think this is a very good idea so that we're not all like just completely choked into playing Iron Banner or Trials or the highest of the high. Next up, let's talk about weapons. Firstly, let's state the problem. Weapons currently, for the most part, if you've been playing since the beginning of Destiny 2, you have basically the best of every type of weapon in the game and the best kind of rolls. You know, like with spare rations coming out, like people are like, hey, we'll get a better version of Midnight Coup, but Midnight Coup still works, and I personally prefer Midnight Coup still. You know, I still have my best 4-burst 450 pulse rifle. A new one is really not going to top my blast furnace. You know, there's just specific weapons with very specific roles, and you're not going to get better than it. You know, when it comes to auto rifles, Breakneck is probably going to be the best option, and no matter what they do, whatever auto rifle they release, Breakneck is probably still going to be the weapon that people use. And that is a problem that games have when they've lasted as long as Destiny 2. Moving into the third year, there's going to be a lot of weapons that are just repeat versions of previous weapons that nobody really cares about, and there's an issue here. Do we just make the newer weapons better? And that's kind of the issue we had with Recluse, and make it so those previous trophies don't matter. That is the problem currently, and they have a couple ideas of how they want to fix that. For the most part, what they're going to be doing is they're basically going to make it so you have an infusion cap on a lot of legendary weapons. So they mentioned here 9 to 15 months. Basically, let's say the Midnight Coup just released. 9 to 15 months later, you should not really have the efficacy of using the Midnight Coup in many activities. And that's artificially going to cause you to need new weapons rather than use the old ones over and over again. But exotic weapons, you can still infuse all the way up. They're trying to figure out a different way to balance that ecosystem. On top of that, there's a couple of other things that they mentioned, kind of miscellaneous things. First of all, faction rallies are just not coming back. They're going to try to include the armors and weapons from those faction rallies into general pools in the future. Secondly, they're removing Bright Engram loot box kind of thing from the store as a purchasable item, and instead having them just randomly throughout the battle pass kind of thing. After that, they're going to be revamping New Light to make it a better or more fleshed out intro, because a lot of people decided to come play Destiny 2. They're going to be making some additions and changes to the quest log, give you more categories so you don't have a big quest log full of stuff that you're procrastinating on. And that is pretty much it for the director's cut. Now, there is a lot of information. There's a lot of words and text here. If you want to read it, I'll leave it a link in the description down below. But that is what I can glean from it in a nutshell. And right now, I'm just realizing he's probably got a couple more to come, maybe over the next few weeks. Next up, there's going to be a bunch of subclass changes coming in the Season of the Worthy, which is going to be the next season. And they're going to have a more in-depth showcase of exactly what's going to be changing as soon as that DLC releases. But they wanted to give us a preview here. First up, for the Warlock melee, between melee to melee, Warlock's melee slower. So what they're going to be doing is increasing the melee lunge range by 1 more meter to 5.5 meters, which is something very good, making it so that they're not homogenizing, I like this word, homogenizing all the melees, which means just making them all the same, giving them each class its own personality, and I like this. Warlock melees being really long is annoying to me, but it makes sense. Next up, they're going to be doing something a little bit weird to Titan barricades. For the most part, they've noticed that in Trials of the Nine, having a barricade is very, very powerful, allowing you to revive your teammate very effectively and very easily. Taking down that barrier, usually you need multiple teammates to shoot that down before they can get that revived. So what they're going to be doing is buffing the barricade firstly from 500 to 600 HP, and then they're also going to be making certain weapon types do more damage to those barricades. First of all, anti-barrier rounds are just inherently going to do more damage to barricades. On top of that, these weapons here are going to be doing 30% more damage to barricades, and these shotguns and fusion rifles 60% more damage. So if you see somebody put down a barricade in front of a ghost, rush that down with a shotgun or fusion rifle, you'll be able to take them out and see lots of fun little yellow damage numbers. I think this is a good improvement, although it might be something that not a lot of people realize, so it's good to know that now if you're watching this video. Next up, they'll be revamping a lot of one-shot abilities across all of the different classes. For the Titan's shoulder charge abilities, they're going to be reducing the auto-targeting angle by 50%. Currently, you can take a full 90-degree turn with your shoulder charge, allowing you to very easily get melee kills if the enemy is just around you. So they're going to be making that 50% worse, my assumption meaning that they're just going to make it so it's not 90-degree turns, it's going to be just like 50-degree turn. On top of that, they're also going to be reducing the lunge distance by 0.5 meters. For the Hunter's weighted knife, they're going to be reducing the tracking significantly, and they're also making new tracking tech, which I assume is going to be new perks for the new season. And then finally, the Warlock's handheld Supernova is getting a bunch of different nerfs. First of all, making it so it's a longer activation time. You can't hold it as long, and reducing the range, tightening the horizontal spread, making the bolt's explosions now do self-damage, and finally the bolt's explosion radius is also getting reduced as well, making it so it's a bit tighter and not just a I'm invincible with this controverse hold thing, and I can also shotgun kill anybody in the game. So hopefully it's better. I don't know if this is enough to nerf it all the way. And then finally, they're also going to be rebuffing the Nova Warp Super to make it have more damage resistance, longer duration, and reduced blink cost. So they're kind of reversing the pendulum on the last time they crazily nerfed it, but I still think it's a great super to have even right now. They're also going to be making some general subclass tuning. What they've said is that they've noticed from their statistics that certain subclasses are winning a lot of games and certain subclasses are losing a lot of games, which are going to be these three. So what they're going to be doing is buffing the poor ones and then nerfing the good ones without making them go too far in either direction. Good luck. And then lastly, they're going to be making the Hunter's Tripmine Grenade sticky again. I didn't realize that they don't stick or did stick in the past. I just didn't know. Next up, Twitch Prime rewards. If you did not know, Twitch Prime actually has a partnership with Bungie right now where you can get a couple of past stuff from previous seasons, including the petting chicken, which is one of my favorite emotes in the game. You can get these from Twitch Prime every single month for 6 months in a row. We're at month number 2. They're going to be releasing new stuff for Destiny players. Now, I have Twitch Prime, but I also have all of these things and all the previous things. So if you play a lot, you may not see new stuff, but it's free stuff, so you might as well get it. And finally, moving on to Dr. Bungie, headed up by the blue section of the top. Going to be talking about updates, known issues, and future of Destiny 2 updates and known issues. Yeah, and that was it. First up, if you're going for the Savior Seal, which is the seal for this season, you have to get it before March 10th, before it makes it so you can't get it again by removing certain activities and the ability to get certain triumphs. And that also goes with the Empyrean Foundation, which will be open until March 10th. Next up, for some upcoming resolved issues, which will be coming on March 10th, the release of the new season. The travel load times will be returning back to normal. Hopefully that works because they said that in the past. Prime Attunement buff will once again show up on new characters after you delete previous characters. The Pigeon and Phoenix lore will become available again to those who have earned the lore. If you did not know, if you didn't claim the lore before they removed the portal thing, you couldn't reclaim it, so they're going to make it so you can claim it if you've done it. I don't know why they would make it so you couldn't claim it. That's ridiculous. And finally, the empty Solstice of Heroes gift message will no longer show up at tests. On top of that, there is a huge article of known issues. If you did not know, they track a lot of stuff for a lot of different things, for a lot of different seasons, and I cannot hope to read all of that in this video. So check this out if you wanted it. It is again linked right here on this page. And that is pretty much it. The rest of it's going to be movies of the week, which I have not actually watched this season. And the last little note is, hey, there it is. There's the little thing right there. It's okay. Well, it didn't load. That happens a lot. I don't know why. But Cosmo likes to put these little cat Easter eggs. It should be a cat photo, but it's not. The last little thing they wanted to mention is that there is going to be a cool picture of the next season's artifact on Twitter from Luke Smith. Is going to be this thing. Apparently, the next artifact is this sword thing. It's not particularly useful for anything other than just knowing. But that's it. That's the end of the TWAB. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just like foxes, let me know in the comments down below. And then lastly, again, the giveaway is going to be ending very soon. Make sure you enter before it's too late. And again, I do these giveaways every single month, so you're going to have more opportunities to get it, and use the discount codes if you don't want to wait. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much in this particular TWAB, but there was a lot of stuff to say. But yeah, my name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.